Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Aftermath, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as a man who loses his family on a flight and might be out for revenge. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Heart in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 16, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So, here's the thing about Arnold Schwarzenegger. We loved him back in the 80s. Why did we love Arnold? It wasn't because he could act, okay? We liked him because he did everything a movie star should do at that time. He was big, gregarious, and he was in all these action roles. And the movies that he starred in, they a lot of times transcended his acting ability, and we didn't care because it's on Lionsgate Play, whatever that is, on November 8th. I guess Lionsgate has a thing. So we liked his movies. And he was mainly like it was like a hot chick being in a movie, who couldn't act, let's say. You'd like that movie because she's pretty hot, not necessarily for her acting ability. We laughed at Arnold's acting, but that was okay because it was all in good fun, and he seemed to be a good sport about it. Now fast forward to the modern day. Arnold's got a lot of baggage outside of the movies. Unlike Tom Cruise, the last movie star, who rarely ever gets on social media, doesn't do a lot of personal appearances anymore. We know way too much about Arnold and his views. And Mr. Screw Your Freedom alienated a good chunk of his audience with that comment. So, and you have to understand, like, the guys who liked Arnold were not, most of them, myself included, were very upset when he made those statements. Because a lot of times, I mean, this was a guy who was being considered, believe it or not, they were going to do a Sergeant Rock movie, and he was going to be Sergeant Rock. They didn't do it, of course, because it would have been insane. But, now he's old, and he's trying to do, movies late in his career. Now, you would think he'd do the kind of movies Bruce Willis was doing before he had to retire. Because those were the same movies Arnold used to do back in the day. Some of them were Bruce Willis movies, but most of them were basically Arnold Schwarzenegger venues. And he's not doing that. He's doing this movie, which is kind of a serious drama, and it hinges on his acting ability, which is very limited in my view. So, first act, his family dies in a plane crash. And they tell him, and it's very sad, and he is not getting any real answers and doesn't even get an apology. So he decides that he needs an apology. Second act, he uses his various skills to get in on the investigation of the flight to find out who's responsible for the planes crashing. Because two planes ran into each other. This is based on some sort of true story. So he does that. He eventually finds out that while at the same time you're following the tower guy, the air traffic controller guy, who screwed up. He took off his headset and I don't know. He got distracted and then the two planes crashed, and it's on him. But for some reason the airline's covering it up, or they're helping him, and he's moving out of state, and Arnold's gonna find him to just get him to apologize. And will not Arnold kill him? And what would you do? And it's that kind of movie. So it's not like he's hunting him with a gun like the Terminator. He is determined to find this guy and confront him and have a big dramatic moment. The problem is, I don't think Arnold could pull off that dramatic moment if you gave him 1,000 years in acting lessons. He's just not a good actor. He was a good action star. The kind of guy who could have pulled this off would have been someone like Michael Douglas back in the day. Michael Douglas is too old for this role. Arnold is too old for this role, quite frankly. He's not, father level. He looks like grandpa level in terms of his age. And so, he's got his hair dyed and his beard is as white as Santa. Dye the beard. Dye the beard. If you go the whole way, Arnold, dye the beard. Or is he wearing a hairpiece? I don't know. But the very audience that followed him during the action movies kind of not too happy with him. And everybody outside of that, I don't know how much they like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then you add to that a dramatic role that requires a certain level of acting to pull off. Like Michael Douglas, he could portray a father who's a normal guy and then loses his family and then falls apart and then, does crazy things to confront the man who's responsible, right? Arnold just looks like Arnold saying the lines in the movie. That's all it looks like to me in the trailer. It doesn't, it's a little bit like Jackie Chan trying to do this role. But even Jackie was better in the serious role he had because he just frowned for the whole movie. Arnold just looks like Arnold. I don't know if he's going to kill the guy or he's going to shake his hand like in that scene with Apollo Creed from Predator, or if he's going to like put his fist through his chest. Like, this is completely wrong for Arnold. He should be in those B-movie sci-fi action films that Bruce Willis was doing. Or one where he's a cop, or one where he shoots a gun, or something. Not one where he has to emote, because that's not why people watched Arnold. We didn't watch Arnold so he could emote. I don't think he can pull it off. What I'm seeing in the trailer, he's exactly the same as he's always been to me. And you might even be able to overlook that if you're one of the 80s fans, had he not waded into the fray and said, screw your freedom, and a few other things that he said. It's just, if you have a fan base, the fans know you, right? So no one would have been surprised if you were an 80s Arnold fan, that if Arnold came out and waved the American flag and said the opposite of screw your freedom, said, no, I am for freedom. Like, that would have been on brand for the 1980s Arnold, because he was a Republican back in the day. He was super pro-American. And to hear him talk the other way, I think it really hurt his brand. So I got no loyalty to go see him or even give him a chance in this movie. Because why should I? I knew he wasn't a good actor when I watched him back in the 80s, but it was fun. This movie isn't even fun. Like, at least if it was a fun movie, that's why he was able to pull off Kindergarten Cop and Twins. At least they were fun movies. What is this? So would I watch this? No. That's a hard no, dog. What wouldn't even be on my radar. I wouldn't even watch it ironically, because yeah, he shouldn't be in serious movies. No effing way. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on the black site, the orange site, and the green site for more videos. I will be at the Northfield Flea Market on Saturday from 8 to 2, and I'll have books. I am done with my medical stuff, and I'm back on track. So don't worry about me. Hope to see you in the next video. See you in the next one.